Good morning, friends. Myself Avinash, and I'm here to teach you switchgear and protection. So, in switchgear and protection, it's one of the concept in power system. As we know, the power system is very much huge. You will be dealing always now in initial semesters. You may have learned about the generation concept like thermal, hydel, and all. And later on, transmission lines, constants dealing with, and the power system stability analysis. And this is switchgear and protection. So switchgear and protection. So why it is the switchgear and protection? Why you need the switchgear and protection? So in power system, until and unless everything is normal, not a problem. If a fault occurs, so to isolate that fault, we need a switchgear or a protection equipment. So in the faults maybe of different types. We have a symmetrical fault, unsymmetrical fault, like unsymmetrical fault followed by a LG fault, double L fault, and line-to-line fault. Many faults. So the switchgear and protection is an equipment where to isolate that fault section or the fault section, and in that followed by you have a switchgear and protection of now in this semester you have consisting of 5 units. So the 5 units were for the circuit breaker. First unit consisting of a circuit breaker. First unit is a circuit breaker, and in the circuit breaker we'll deal with a few terminologies like recovery voltage, restriking voltage, and arc winching, and different elementary concepts we'll deal in there. And we'll deal about different circuit breakers like oil circuit breaker, air blast circuit breaker, vacuum. So oil, air, vacuum, and aseptic gas. These are the few fluids used in the circuit breakers to quench the arc, and we'll deal that. And later we'll deal very important. We'll deal every day. We'll see in our homes like MCB, MCCB. So where you use MCB or where you use MCCB based upon their specifications and capacitance, and we'll deal that. And we'll deal the different circuits. So how the MCB acts, how the MCCB acts. With maximum, I'll give you in a pictorial graphs later in the next lectures. And we have coming to the second unit, we have electromagnetic. So in the second unit you'll be dealing with electromagnetic protection. So in this electromagnetic protection you'll be knowing about different relays. So different application of relays in overcurrent. The situation will get overcurrent and over voltages. We'll deal that in a second unit, and we'll know about the different types of relays, how the relay operate when the fault occurs, and when there is a mechanism called relay circuit breaker operation. So I'll be dealing it right now. And then the third unit consisting of a generator protection. The unit naming is generator protection, but it also includes transformer protections and transmission line protection. So in commonly generator protection means we have the generator synchronous motors. So in synchronous motor, how the fault occurs and how to eradicate that fault, what are the breakers used in that, we'll deal that in the generator protection. And followed by a fourth unit consisting of static and digital relays. So the static and digital relays, we'll deal about static means we'll have a static distance relays and the overcurrent relays in that. Digital relays means we'll use about a microprocessor. We'll deal with this much improved one, advanced thing, and we'll deal that in the numerical relays. And also, so in the fifth unit we'll have a grounding and protection against over voltages. So we're dealing about the grounding. So when the neutral is the grounding and ungrounding neutral systems will deal. So the protection against over voltages will deal in unit 5. So for your semester the books which is prescribed is Power System Protection and Switchgear by Badriram and D.N. Vishwakarma. And the second book which was about relays and microprocessor, which is based on the fourth unit, which is very much important. Based on the importance of the fourth unit, the second book is preferable. So that is Static Relays with the Microprocessor Application by T.S. Madhavrao. And we have many books applicable, like J.B. Gupta is one of the good book. We might all purchase that. And later we'll have Padiyar, another book for protection, power system protection. So let us start the unit 1, that is circuit breaker. So in protection equipment, mainly we have a circuit breaker and relay. So this is actually, I want to explain, this is the overlapping zones of protection. We have different kinds of zones in power system, that is generator zone, and this comes to like high generator zone, and this is a circuit breaker zone. This is generator zone and this is circuit breaker zone, we'll call. And then this, after this we'll have HV switchgear protection zone, and later on we have transformer zone. And after this voltage is step up now, then it will get extra high voltage switchgear protection equipment. And later after this we'll have transmission line protection zone, and then again we'll have a step down transformer later section, and the scenario continues. So if you observe carefully, after every zones you have a circuit breaker here. Here is a circuit breaker, here is a circuit breaker, this is generator zone. So why you need the circuit breaker here? So if a person or anyone operating in a power station, so we are having two generators. So if a fault occur in any one generator, so what happen? In spite of shut down the whole power system, you need to shut down and we need to run another generator. So at this time the circuit breaker is isolated by an engineer or some equipment. So the circuit breaker is manually it operates by a relay, okay, by a relay. So in general, if any fault occurs in an element of power system, an automatic protection device is needed. That is to isolate the healthy equipment. So that is the protection. So what is the mean is, so in protection includes, we have circuit breakers, transducers, that is current transformers and voltage transformers, and the protecting relays to isolate the faulty section of the power system from the healthy sections. So for example, so this is the bus bar. So if the fault occurs here, if a circuit breaker operates, this section is removed and this section is continuous, okay. So that is the need to interrupt other. So if one circuit breaker operates, it isolates where the faulty section, and the operation continues normally. After the fault is recovered, again the circuit breaker makes the current. So the circuit breaker is generally called as make-in and breakout current. So automatically once the fault occurs, it gets operated. After the fault recovered, again the contact will be closed. So that is the main theme in circuit breaker operation. So apart from short circuit faults, we have other faults like overspeed of generators and motors, over voltages, under frequency, loss of excitation. So loss of excitation, so a synchronous motor we have excitation. Loss of excitation means there is a change in speed in that, and overheating of a stator, rotor of an alternator, etc. So the circuit breaker is a protecting device, we know. And then so I need to show a small video. I wanted to show the small video here. So this is a manual operation of a bus bar. So this is the manual operation This is not a circuit breaker, just a normal switching operation in a power station, in operation of a motor. So the motor, in the case of shutdown or maintenance of the motor or any fault, if for that manually the isolation takes place. So if you, my main item wanted to say is here, this is a fixed contact and this is a moving contact. This is about a small isolation of a power line, okay. But in circuit breaker we have the same configuration. So where I said na, when a circuit breaker, when a fault occurs, it breaks the power line current. So similarly here also breaking takes place, but they are having a huge arc here. Even though the arc is, the contact is removing, due to this arc the current flows. So we need air, oil, vacuum and all to extinguish this arc, okay. Here the moving is acted as a quenching here, but in circuit breaker that is different case. So in this the arc, extinguishing of arc based upon the distance between the, so if the distance is increasing, the arc get extinguished, okay. So this is a, so in the protection zone we deal with the bus bar, and this is the protection circuit breaker. So the circuit breaker followed by the line. So the circuit breaker is a mechanical device, switching device, capable of making and carrying and breaking currents under normal circuit conditions. Under normal circuit conditions, it has the capability of making and breaking, and also carrying it for a specified time, and automatically breaking the currents under specified abnormal circuit conditions. So for a small milliseconds or microseconds, it has a capacity to breaking or making the circuit currents. If a fault occurs for abnormal period of time, it will break the circuit, okay. If the fault is recovered, again manually we will switch on that breaker. That is a different concept. So function of the circuit breaker is mainly to isolate the fault section. So if a fault occurs in here, the circuit breaker will operate and this fault section will be removed, okay. So the operation here is, as we said that the switchgear protection equipment needs a transducers like a current transformer, a relay coil, a relays and a circuit breaker. So when a fault is occurred here, when a fault occurs, high amount of current will flow, that is sensed by the circuit current transformer. As we know that current transformer is specified in the form of ratios. So for specified ratio time, it acts. If a current limit is increased, it get activated. So it gives sense to the relay, and the relay coil will excited. So then the circuit will be closed. After the circuit is closed, this get excited. So the tripping coil give information to the circuit breaker to isolate the fault section. So this is the main operation. So whatever the circuit breaker you see, and whatever the relay you see, and whatever the transducers you use, the concept is same. So you use a current transformer to sense the current, and this current transformer give signal to relay coil, and this relay coil will operate the relay trip coil, and the trip coil give information to the circuit breaker to operate. This is the normal operation of a circuit breaker. So I said that the circuit breaker is a chamber. In this circuit breaker you have a fluid medium like air, oil or vacuum, SF6. Based upon the different circuit breakers applicable in the market, based upon the usage we use the circuit breaker, and based upon the economical usage. So our engineers need to know where, when, what to use. So here based upon the economical aspects also we used to use, depend. So if you using for less export, like the production for less production, you need to use less equipment, so less cost of equipment. or depending upon the severity of the fault, the circuit may also operate based on the specification. Simply say the specification. So if you need for high specification, you need to go for high circuit breaker ratings. So we'll deal that circuit breaker operation breaking in that. Okay. So as I said, fault clearing time of a circuit breaker. So to operate, before slide in the video you say that isolation of a power. So the moving fixed in the circuit breaker, you'll have a fixed coil and moving fixed contact and a moving contact. So the operation of the fixed contact to our moving contact up to the arc extinction, we have the time called fault clearing time of a circuit breaker. So here it was divided into these different sections, that is relay operating time, that is relay time. So where the time from fault inception to the closure of trip circuit of a circuit breaker. So relaying time. So delaying time, because until now the circuit breaker is not operated, but up to here the current transformer gave the signal to the relay to operate, and the relay will give to trip circuit, trip coil. So up to here the relay operating time takes place. Okay, and then from when the trip coil gives signal to the circuit breaker starts operating. The opening time of a circuit breaker starts from here. So that is a mechanical time. This opening time of a start here. Once this start opening, there will be a arc here. From arc, we have seen that before. From arc to starting to arc and arc extinction, in this part. So here up to here the relay time is there. Once the relay give information to the circuit breaker start opening. After opening, there will be a forming of arc. So this entire three parts is called circuit fault clearing time. Up to here is contact part time. So up to here the contact will be there. That is there will be a there is a flow of current in the coil. Even though arc is present, there will be a flow of current. Once the arc is formed, getting extension, it is no matter that the up to from here to here, the fault got the arc got extended and the circuit breakers open. So the entire time you might not observe that very less time, that is a milliseconds. So you may not imagine that, you may not observe that. Once you go to the industrial field, the circuit breaker will operate continuously. You know how many times it operates, we don't know, but it operates. So in normal operating condition, it will operate circuit breaker because due to load fluctuations and all. So very minute thing also is important in the operation of the circuit breaker. If at all one fault occur, then it get activated. After clearing the fault only, again the breaker contact get closed. This is about fault clearing time of a circuit breaker. And in coming classes, we'll deal about interruption and current zero interruption, and we'll deal about restriking voltage and recovery voltage, and again we'll deal about resistance switching and current choking. So these are the basic terminologies and basic things we need to know about the circuit breaker operation. During circuit breaker operation, we'll see all these things, and later we'll move to different types of circuit breakers, followed by MCBs and MCCBs. So thank you guys.